Welcome to SocoHog. Before you start the game, please manually drag the terminal window to the maximum size for the best experience. First, click a random key to start. The goal is to push the box to block the path so that the hog cannot reach the student. In the first level, it's pretty clear that there's only one gap leading to the student, so we just need to block it with a box. While playing the game, it's important to pay attention to the time to avoid a timeout. We'll start by moving up and then to the right to push the box into the gap. If there's a time marker on the path, you can choose to go through it to increase the available time. However, if the marker is a bomb, it's probably best to bypass it. Once you've finished, press Q to end the level, and if you win, you can move on to the next level. The next example is the last level and it's a bit tricky. Although there are 5 hogs that you need to block, the simplest way is to use only 2 boxes. First, we push a box to the left open space, and then from the gap above to move to the position below the box. Push the box up, and then to the right to this location next to your target. Then go back to the original place to push another box and repeat the operation just now, but this time place the box below your target. This way, you can use the least number of movements to block the hogs. Now we are going to talk about the programming of the game. The main.py could be split into 3 sections. The first part calls the greet function to generate the greeting screen. The middle part is for calling the function to play the levels. As long as the player completes the level, they can proceed to the next one. The last part calls the conk function for the winning screen, or the lose function for the losing screen.
Greet.py contains the greet function, and it shows the start screen to greet the player. In this game, we use curses module instead of print to get control of the terminal. Here, S is the title that we want to show. In the loop, we use CNT to record how many times we execute it and take control of the color of the title and the position of the emojis. And when the player presses the key, OP will no longer be -1, and the loop will break and the greet.py ends.
So now I'll be explaining what is read. So the basis of this function is that we are going to be reading from a text file containing 2 pieces of information. One is basically a 12 by 12 arrangement of letters, which represent the symbols of our game. So as you can see, all these partial boards here, they are just for storing information temporarily. So after we read the file to all of these partial boards, they will form the final board right here. And last but not least, what our function will do in this part of the code is that it will turn our 12 by 12 matrix of letters into objects. And that's basically it. But wait, what objects?
The object class represents what's on the unit on the board. The attributes show where it is, what it is, and the attachment, and if it's found by a hog. And the activate here is to activate the bomb or clock on the space. And the method movable returns whether the object is movable towards the given operation. So it first determines if it's valid or not, and will it cause the player out of the board, and do some special judgments, depends on the game rule. And the move method just move the item towards the given direction. Play.py contains the main playing function. We import function read and class object from read.py. And then let's go to function play, which is can be considered the main function. We put all the emojis we need into 2 dictionaries. And line 88 to 93 are quite important. They find where the player is and find all the hogs. In line 97, we go into the main loop, which will not end until the level ends. From line 101 to 112, we show the whole board by looking at every item's name. It's worth notice that if an object is S and has no attachment, it will show 2 spaces, which is the same size as an emoji. And in line 115, we get the user input. If not valid, just try again. If it's Q, just break the loop. If it's R, just return the play function again. We use try except statement here, in case any unknown keys causes error. So, and let's go to the put function, which will randomly put the attachments on spaces. By using random int, we have a 5% chance to put a thing on the board each turn. Then it will return whether a clock or bomb is put. When the level ends, we just remove the player from the screen, and then the hogs will begin to search for targets. We go to function find. The function search for a target by using BFS algorithm. I'm not going to explain the algorithm, but this function will return the route. And if there is not a route, the route list is empty, the player wins. If there is, we find which route is the shortest and which hog owns it. Finally, we return whether the player wins or not.
There are 2 main parts to end.py, the congratulations and the lose function. And the only differences between these 2 functions is the animation and the text that we display to our players. So after displaying the screen using the curses library, the animation will run where the security traps the hogs in the boxes and the laughing emoji replaces the scared emoji. Here we use a for loop to specify how many moves the security will make in the animation, and we use coordinates here so that we know exactly where on the screen the animation will run. Finally, the screen will remain frozen until the player presses any random key on the keyboard. And afterwards, the game screen will close and the system will exit. For lose, our animation is basically the hog escapes towards the scared emoji, and they will be replaced by crying emojis.